You're invited to a party. I don't give a fuck. Not sure how I signed out, but okay.
The leaders of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers were freed following the pardons yesterday. Um, at the time, back in 2021, you urged them to stand back and stand by. Is there now a place for them in the political conversation?
Well, we have to say they've been given a pardon. I thought their sentences were ridiculous and excessive.
Of course you did, because you're a fucking idiot.
Donald Trump was in North Carolina today, where he was supposed to be visiting. Donald Trump was in North Carolina today, where he was supposed to be visiting disaster scenes and talking about FEMA. Later, he's going to be in California. He gave the most reprehensible personal appearance I think I've ever seen in the history of the presidency, although some of his other appearances were probably right up there on the list. So when he got on the tarmac, what he was saying was that he hates the whole concept of FEMA. He says the whole concept of FEMA, we're looking at it. I like, frankly, the concept when North Carolina gets hit. I like if just the governor takes care of it. When Florida gets hit, the governor takes care of it, meaning the state takes care of it. I'd like to see the states take care of it. I mean, how ignorant and idiotic can you possibly be? The states do take care of it, Donald, but there's a reason why the governors need to have a national emergency relief to ask for federal aid, because there there is the need of a federal government. That is why a federal government quite literally exists. You may want to go ask DeSantis about why he asks for federal emergency aid. I mean, Trump's concept now is just getting rid of FEMA in general. Then Donald Trump on the tarmac says, well, here's how we're going to solve Ukraine. This is what he says. We want to see OPEC cut the price of oil, and that will automatically stop the tragedy that's taking place in Ukraine.
Not even
He
connected.
goes, if OPEC cuts the price of oil, that will automatically stop the tragedy taking place in Ukraine. Now, Donald Trump previously said that in 24 hours after the election, he would negotiate peace in Ukraine. He didn't do that. Then 24 hours after the inauguration, he didn't do that. Then he sent a all caps social media post to Putin talking about tariffs, even though right now Putin is basically banned. Russia's like completely banned from even trading with the United States.
Womp womp.
Donald Trump also floated the idea that Xi Jinping should be the one who negotiates a deal in Ukraine. Let's just leave it to China to figure it out. Then Donald Trump said yesterday it's up to Putin whether or not there will be a deal in Ukraine, and then he did attack Zelensky, and now he's saying if OPEC cut the prices. I also want to say this. President Biden did get OPEC to cut the prices when President Biden made America energy independent. OPEC wanted to make their prices $100 per gallon. Biden was able to get them to decrease it dramatically when America increased the supply of our oil and we increased our drilling while still focused on climate change. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has taken us out of the Paris Climate Accords and out of the World Health Organization. But I digress. That's Donald Trump's brilliant plan to negotiate peace in Ukraine, where he's already lied to us. OPEC, you must lower the prices. That will automatically do it. This guy is an idiot. You just call him what he is. Trump, you are an idiot.
Yep.
It's the idiotic statement.
Trump's a moron.
Then Donald Trump talks about California. He goes, in California, millions of gallons of waters are waiting to be poured through already the half pipes that are already built. I mean, they've been up for 40 years, and about 20 years ago, they turned off the water, and it's the water that comes from the Pacific Northwest. Again, if President Biden made any statements like that, you should impeach President Biden for making statements like this, because it is, in my opinion, like dementia-riddled type statement. What are you even talking about? There is quite literally nothing accurate in the statement at all. Just lie. He then says that what he wants to condition aid to California on is, I want two things in California. I want voter ID so that people have a chance to vote, and I want to see the water be released and come down in Los Angeles throughout the state. There's water in the state, number one. And number two, you are conditioning emergency relief aid to California on your own perspective on voter ID when our votes are safe and secure.
Louisiana's a red state, and they got the relief that they needed after Hurricane Katrina without anybody bitching about it.
Conference. And so he's asking
and making it conditional.
So when he's talking about Canada, again, he says, we're going to tariff Canada. We're going to punish Canada very badly unless they become a 51st state, he says. And he goes, look, if you become a 51st state, Canada, you're going to get better health care in the United States. Really? You think you're going to get better health care in the United States? I don't show a lot of Trump clips. There are some you need to see for the newsworthy value to go, holy crap. This is what he said. Short clip. Let me play it.
A nation. Also, they've been very nasty to us on trade. Historically, Canada has been very, very bad to us, very unfair to us on trade. So we'll see how it all works out. I would love to see Canada be the 51st state. The Canadian citizens, if that happened, would get a very big tax cut, tremendous tax cut, because they're very highly taxed. And you wouldn't have to worry about military. You wouldn't have to worry about many of the things. You'd have better health coverage. You'd have much better health coverage. So I think the people of Canada would like it, if it's explained. But just to start off, they'd have a massive tax cut, and they'd have a lot more business, because then we'd let business go to Canada routinely, and there'd be no tariffs.
So then Donald Trump is asked about Anthony Fauci, And Trump terminated Anthony Fauci and John Bolton, both people who worked for Trump. He canceled their security details. Bolton, threatened by Iran and is on their assassination list. Fauci on the assassination list of a lot of Donald Trump supporters and MAGA supporters who want to kill Fauci based on what Donald Trump said. So Donald Trump was asked about, you terminated their security detail, and then Trump goes, look, that's just what happens when you work for the government. Sometimes it happens. You can't get it forever. Sometimes it comes off. Then Donald Trump was asked, but would you feel responsible if they get killed as a result of this? And Trump goes, no, they've got money. They've got their money. Here, play this clip.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Would you feel partially responsible if something were to happen to, say, Dr. Fauci or John Bolton?
No. You know, they all made a lot of money. They can hire their own security, too. All the people you're talking about, they can go out. I can give them some good numbers of very good security people. They can hire their own security. They all made a lot of money. Fauci made a lot of money. They all did. So if they, felt that strongly, I think that certainly I would not take responsibility.
Yeah, they made money doing their jobs,
And
not
again,
scamming people out of their hard-earned money
I
just
just want
because
you
they're
to see that I'm
fucking
backing up every
losers.
word that I'm saying, and I know you know that by the video. I won't show a lot, but I think it's important that we see what's going on. Then Donald Trump talks about how I will sign an executive order to begin the process of fundamentally reforming and overhauling FEMA, or maybe getting rid of FEMA. He wants to get rid of FEMA, he says, and not replace it with anything, but to have the states deal with their own natural disasters and their terrorist attacks, and not have the federal government support it. And when I say their own, it actually isn't their own. It's the United States of America. That's quite literally why we have a federal government. And one of Trump's acts is to get rid of FEMA.
Coast to coast, we are prepared for every possible scenario. In fact, just last night, I spoke to Premier Ford in his capacity as chair of the Council of the Federation, and he reiterated his unwavering commitment on behalf of Canadian premiers to working all together. This